We're back in the soup for probably the last session I'll be able to do for a while. Likely for the rest of this week at least. Pretty much because gonna be a busy week. So I figure I may as well get a bit more content good and ready for when the 109942 videos start being published. So, first on the list, of course I'm artifactless to avoid any cobblestoning. Which is going to be fun with regards to radiation, because now I have nothing to get rid of it. All I have is the mean... I mean, I have items to get rid of it, of course, but I have nothing to get rid of it artifact-wise. Bit of blood splattered on the trailer. So we're in the part of Yantar where the full range of EAX effects have been enabled. And it seems to do strange things to the dynamic music. If you're listening through headphones, you may hear it sound like it's panning. And who knows, maybe that would be why the dynamic music sometimes sounds like it's just playing in mono. It's treated as a sound effect played in the actor's ear, or very close to where the actor is. Whoa, nice sliding around, guy. Rather than an actual music track. Which would, of course, explain why it doesn't, you know, replace the standard ambient music when the dynamic stuff plays. Seems to be somebody over that way, I guess? But I will say, audio-related issues regarding, you know, what channels are being played through and whatnot are definitely an engine-level problem. As I actually went through and found a bunch of files for the pre-rendered cutscenes and whatnot earlier today. Put them through a video editor, and, well, by this point, I've probably put them on YouTube. And, well, they sound so much better the way I edited them in Vegas than they ever do in-game, and it's because... I think because the, channels are properly separated. Whatever GSC was thinking at the time with handling stereo by playing two monorail tracks simultaneously, not a good idea at all. As clearly it's quite buggy in implementation. Oh yeah, that's a permacorpse. Whoops. They definitely learned their lesson with the sequels. Well, the prequel and the sequel, technically speaking. As with Clear Sky, music files that are not, you know, like the banded radio, stuff that's attached to an object in the level, are just standard stereo OGG files. But who knows, maybe the trouble really only exists for modern systems. Since, well, beyond using Windows XP or earlier, which would be terrible because XP was awful. Yeah, I said it. XP was awful. Deal with it. Burnt Fuzz, pretty nice. Outside of doing that, you're kind of stuck with either horrible software audio quality or trying to emulate earlier systems through things like creative alchemy, which obviously does not give a perfect representation of the old-style hardware-accelerated sound. Mother... Semi-successful. I'll call that a semi-successful jump scare. Extremely successful shot. Man. Gotta say, I would expect a 45 caliber pistol to pack a bit more punch. It killed him quite handily. It just took a few shots. And it required the hydroshock rounds. I remember trying to shoot humans with the standard ammo as recent as last session, and it just did bugger all for damage, really. Of course, I also got hit by that overpowered punch effect by an NPC, so that made it impossible to win. Should explain, overpowered as in, hello. Very acrobatic, these things. I wonder if the whole full-scale flip thing is something that was cut and re-added by the mod. I don't remember them in vanilla, rather, doing the whole flip thing. Well, suppose if nothing else, I'm gonna get a ton of loot money from this. I may actually decide to... Hello. Why am I up here? Another pointless teleport. May decide to run back to the bunker is what I was trying to say. And, toss out a bit of this loot. Since I'm already, pretty well packed, and there's a bunch of stuff inside the lab itself I need to get yet. Just double checking what I picked up there. Sadly not 45 caliber ammunition. What I was hoping for. Now, if I remember right from when I ran around here in 1099-40, in the whole next patch will require a reboot, so whatever. Live stream event sort of thing. The actual proper entrance is on this side. Since I believe there is another one of those teleports blocking the main entrance. Works a lot better when you actually aim at a target rather than blasting everywhere. Alright. I'll just break that by running into the box next to it. If only GSE had properly installed these EAX location effects elsewhere in the game, and for that matter, in the other two games in the series. I mean, outside of the horrible implementation in radar level, it's... The addition of echo sounds really nice. Although it's clearly not entirely feature complete, because they have applied the same effect for out here and inside places like this. I don't know. I just have to say that's reverb effects and whatnot are a lost art. It all went away when we moved away from hardware-accelerated audio to crap like Fmod. And what's even worse about that? Half-Life. You can't even experience Half-Life with the old style reverb effects anymore, since Valve changed some things for particularly stupid reasons. I mean, there's still reverb, but it's not the same type that you would get before. And if I recall correctly, the changes were made to increase support for the Linux version. And, you know, it would have been just too much to ask for them to implement such changes without altering the Windows version. No, they had to screw that over. I mean, in a way, it's like... Actually, it's very much exactly like the situation I'm using as an example. It's like how in Oblivion, shadows for objects were deleted. And dynamically casted shadows from things like chains and whatnot removed. They were there in the E3 demo, but they were removed because the Xbox 360 version of the game couldn't handle it. Just awful. Gimping things so the weakest system can handle it. When logically speaking, it shouldn't matter because the strongest system can still handle it. Anyway, well, I've been ranting. I'm completely maxed out on loot, so I guess my idea is going into effect either way. I must really question the purpose of the mineral water, because it doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe it's intended to reduce radiation or something, I don't know, but... if that's its intention, I've seen that intention fail as well, because it doesn't seem to actually reduce radiation at all. In fact, I recall using it in an attempt to do just that, and nothing. What was that other artifact I picked up? A quirk. Right, well, it's not necessarily a bad thing that this happened. It means more money. More money, more loot. I can slowly get myself back up to the financial situation I enjoyed before. While still running through anomalies. It wouldn't be one of my videos without that happening. Alright, Sakharov, please be stable. I'd really rather avoid having to excessively save and reload, if at all possible. Get rid of all that junk. This as well. Let's get rid of the spaz. I don't really feel like using it. Maybe I'll have to see if I can get this thing to work. Bit of an underwhelming loadout he has currently for sale. Just as well, I don't really need anything. Just selling stuff for money. I should probably get rid of the Snork, as Snork's parts as well. Oh, and the quirk, since that's just going to irradiate me. Keep one in case I get the quest again. And there you have it. Alright. That's looking pretty good. Got a bit of radiation. Rather than get rid of it, damn, I was hoping that would remove some. Now it's looking like it's pure vodka. These pickles are supposed to get rid of the drunk effect. Yeah, I guess that proves how effective those are. Junk. Absolute junk. I forgot to sell the MP5. I am amazing. I'd probably get a better price from Kruglov, but he doesn't have any money for it. Yep. Although it's only slightly better.
Hello?
Yeah, just figured I'd check. Anyway, this burnt fuzz seems a bit too useful to risk losing to a cobblestone attack. In fact, I still really don't know what causes the cobblestone effect, other than being near one of these labs. Just to my knowledge. All of the labs will have the effect. And here I thought I was moving away from this. Kind of a shame. Ow. Of course that happens again.
Bullshit.
Alright. Back here. And sadly, that door doesn't seem to be, openable. Meanwhile, there's concrete textures applied to the, intersections of this glass. Oh, there's an open window. Good. Kinda worried that there wouldn't be. Not exactly an area within the Yantar level that I normally explore or interact with in a meaningful way very often. Understandably, you don't have the best memory of this single room. Teleport just leads me up here. I'll just jump down and hurt myself. Ah, well, I think that's actually the other entrance to the interior of the lab anyway. But I've still got some loot. Oh, of course there's an electro there. Why wouldn't there be? It's only incredibly illogical. Fucking A. That's considerably worse than my current suit. It's good because it makes it considerably less of a waste to just get rid of it to turn in the quest for Sakharov. But it is still pretty terrible. Simply because it means that this suit that I got very close to the beginning of the game, in the Agroprom level, is just so potentially overpowered that it's better than the suit I'm finding in Yantar. Okay, so that's blocking me this time, obviously. But without that there, if I recall correctly, and it has not been changed since then, there's a teleport anomaly that takes you to the top of the building. Which is why I ended up having to point out it's a goldfish. Ended up having to point out the other and alternate put together into the same word. For some reason, the other entrances. Alright, so I'm going to need to go back to base again. Because this goldfish is also too valuable to simply allow to be thrown away. Ruined by a cobblestone attack. And it's highly irradiated. So that is understandably kind of an issue. And there you have it. In Stalker Soup, jumping off the top of a building does less damage than jumping through a bush. Now, incidentally, this is the kind of ping-ponging between levels that I don't mind. So I'm really just ping-ponging. On one hand, or in one case, because of the amount of loot I picked up. In the other case, because I've... well, not really overloaded on loot yet, but, definitely carrying enough valuable stuff that I don't exactly want to go through the entire underground lab with it. I'll just toss you in there. Need some absolutes, as I'm still stockpiling this to hopefully make a bunch of money by getting a bunch of these suits that I don't actually need from the ensign. And selling them back to him.
Hello?
Or to other people. Now, these may be explosive. They may explode if you leave them there and shoot them. And I'm going to be delayed in my actual objective once again. But yeah, they may be explosive, but they're a bit more useful to sell, I think. Right, some other time. It must be, right. This is the suit for Lukash's quest. Not for Sakharov's. Sakharov wants Ghost's suit. That's right, that's right. Hello? Hello? Suppose in the absence of ammunition for this, I should just put it away. I think I'll cut it here and come back when I'm in Lab X16 proper.